Hello there, my brave immortal soul. This is Venus Callida here, fighting with the better microphone. Give me just a second. Oh my goodness. Usually I get that plugged in time. You can see me by the campfire light over here in my cat. My cat Blanky. I think they have sleeping bags like this, but this is my fuzzy blanket, and I keep myself cozy by the fire, and I invite you to do the same. Free from all mosquitoes. We'll do this staycation camping today. Now, today I have something special for you. I've been looking at a news site called Readsy, and I realized I might be interpreting a particular permission phrase wrong. We're allowed to read these stories online. I interpret that as meaning I could read them here for you online, and unless someone buzzes me otherwise, I'm going to do that. But I am contacting the authors that are writing the stories through the Readsy comment section, so that if I'm making a mistake, that someone has the opportunity to tell me. But I found another story I found interesting and enjoyable, and again, I'm taking artistic license with the visuals I'm making for this story. Now, I know there's someone out there called Hero Flame. Hero Flame, haven't seen you lately, but I know Hero once requested songs on boats or stories by the water, and I found one, and so the visuals are going to be, I hope you think that they're interesting, and again, I tried a different style. A style similar to the one I used for the two soldiers, which I ended up making a standalone video because the night that I was doing the last Tuck and Chill, from your guys' end, it looks like I was never online. On my end, I thought I was online for 2 hours live with no one logging in, but there were a bunch of blackouts, mini blackouts and lightning storms, so it messed with things, and when I came back the next morning, it showed me that the show was pending my arrival. So very strange, so very strange. But tonight's something a little different. So I'm just going to get myself out of the way, and I'm going to read you a little story I found with Hero Flame in mind, a story on the ocean in a wooden boat. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Venus Callida reads Bolts, Rum, and the Sea, written by H.E. Ross. This isn't a short fiction adventure story that is featured in the Readsy website, and we have permission to read these stories online. And this is a story written according to a particular prompt. And so I'm going to do something here really fast. Center your story around someone facing their highest fear or enemy. And this one's going to be really interesting. Let's take a look at this and see if these might be some of your fears too. The first strike was off to port, disappearing before the corner of my eye could catch it, but its presence remained with a vague twisting thunder. The sky was hidden by a dense, brooding, continuing line of cloud. The horizon hid somewhere between a steel gray sea and a gray, light gray setting of the sun, where somewhere west of south, a water lapped lazily along the hull. It passed slowly in the light airs. The sails were moist as if it was morning in the place of evening. Another crack echoed to starboard, but turning, I only saw monotony all around. Then a bolt split into 3 almost straight stripes just ahead of me. My eyes blinked, at its sudden thick flashing. I looked elsewhere and heard his crackling music still blinking the dots out of my vision. Darkness was merging fast. More strikes from ahead. Again, but I did not look at them. I concentrated on the slightly moving tiller and glanced around to look for storm patches or anything visible aside from my boat. All of a sudden, there was nowhere. Elsewhere, as a distant scattering of light strikes broke from the heavens and entered the seas. Their orchestra began turning instruments, and I looked to see and hear them gathering momentum and approaching me as their central meeting spot. Sulphur lay slightly faintly touching my nostrils. I've always been afraid of lightning. As a child, my first memory of it out a window in the comfort of my own back porch. Even that told me to remember to be aware and stay away. The light from it was elegantly monstrous, and the sound was mightier than anything I'd ever seen up to that small amount of time I'd been alive. Lightning seemed to slash at the sky. That fear remains, and I was looking at it surrounding me without the comfort of a window or a back porch. The first horizontal strikes ran for miles, not waiting to rest with the thunder chasing them into the crowd of verticals. The jagged thin lines of the horizontal streaks screeched the twisting of its notes. A net of light was created all around me with lateral, vertical, and horizontal bursts, rays, streams, strikes. I was alone in this tiny boat, moving by zephyrs and short surges of wavelets. I was almost still, awaiting what came next, thinking forced thoughts of anything that would not come with any clarity. I could think of nothing but this music of light with its wonderful clashing and pitiful moans. They were all penetrating notes, never dreamed of nor wanted. I tried to get into the dramatic beauty of flashing streaks of the dazzling jags, of reflecting arches, of sea lines, but there was no control. Life and death have no controls, and I felt that I was surely going to be hit. The warmth of my fear ran down my legs, inside my trousers, onto the socks inside my boots. I could feel the warm urine where I sat helpless in the cockpit. I had no need to stop the flow. My thoughts caught up with the beating of my heart. I was conscious that my eyes were wider than normal and that there was nobody around to say any of this to. I was alone in the middle of my own world of phosphorescence, sulfuric smoke, and black seas of bursting lights. The lightning did not stay in the sky. They moved in and also out of what I assumed was the sea. My surround was being defined by light in pulse, beams, rays, flashing jags, movements that halted the world, then let it move again. There was no sense in being afraid of these sporadic, ever-present forms. There was nothing I could do about it. I kept telling myself this, between cringes and gnawings of teeth. Time could not count the seconds between the wonders and the trepidation. Spasms of tension with hair standing in rushes accompanied me as I bravely went into the cabin. The porch were brilliant spotlights that undulated the cabin scenes and my eyes recognized, and I reached up behind me to the bottle of Barbecourt 3-star rum. The label was well lit. I unscrewed the top in jerks to the corresponding near crashes of thunder consciously hiding from the light outside. I lifted the bottle and drank timeless amounts of the liquid. The lightning was now inside me as a tasty substance of caramel. A memory crawled into my brain and demanded attention. I was sailing on the Spitzgater, the little Danish double-ended sloop. It was my first sail, and the owner, a Dane with a melted right side of face, was below singing a Danish song about something since I didn't know Danish. Just something. The boat and I were moving out to the Golden Gate Bridge. I looked at the noise of traffic bouncing echoes off the steel of the structure of people passing, going to work or pleasure or just driving. I felt alone. The drunken guy below who loaded and looked up at me, and my yelling for instructions said or slurred, "You're doing fine." That was the memory, so insistent for an appearance, and I cannot think of why I remembered it just then. With the rum jerking this way and that in my belly, it now demanded that I focus on the lightning outside. My head rose a bit to see the sullen flashes just above my eyelashes. I started to get back into the boat mode, and I decided to worry about how to combat lightning. Chain overboard was the first thought. With squinting out the light's eyes, I gained the cockpit and I moved to the stern anchor lashed across the deck. My fast breathing reminded me that I was scared. I thought of scuba diving and slowed down my air intake, like I was going to drown by running out of air. I started to laugh at the Dane, sitting down there in the cabin with his bottle of Dewar's in hand and the other rolling on the cabin Msoul. What a way to start sailing. My hands were on the anchor bindings and untying them without my conscious thought. I laced the end of the line through a chain link allowing about 10 feet from the anchor, and I tied it off tightly to the stainless steel backstay, making sure that the iron of the chain was pressing against the steel of the rigging. Then I checked to see if it's still run up to the top of the mast. Yeah. I gently lowered the anchor into the water until the chain tightened. "Okay," I said to the little sea bubbles moving away safely from my boat and me. The roar power was still there, but it occurred to me that it had become normal in my life's moment. Normal? It was all normal now, and I was able to see how grand the lightning storm had become. Or was I just in the beginning stages of going nuts? I scrambled my eyes shut and regained my fear, or fears. Scanning the horizon all around, I exhaled, and I decided to go get another shot of rum to make this into some sort of party. Nodding to my decision, made my way back to the hatchway as a strike hit a foot away from my little boat, and a blast of sulfur seared the left side of my body. My heart stopped beating. I looked down at my chest, and it was still there. My foul weather gear was still on my body. I could still see the sweat under the clothes as a little cold finger touched on my skin. I breathed again and resumed my descent into the cabin and picked up the bottle, tilted, and let the liquid pour down my throat until I filled my mouth. I started choking. Air was not going in, and I spit the rum out, out the hatchway and into the soft breeze, and thought about the Dane again, and what he would say about wasting liquor. It made me laugh while still choking a bit. I sat on the bunk with the bottle still in hand. I put the bottle top near my nose and I smelled the rum's tangy bouquet. I thought of Haiti, and a warm sensation coated my body for a moment. I was feeling a memory of humid heat and saw a memory of a still sea from the side of a hill near the cannon that I used to stop at and lean against. The soft roaring of thunder made me look outside without squinting. Saw a clear door in the horizon wall of light strikes. It was behind me, but I wasn't quite sure if behind me was behind me, and, well, it didn't matter. What mattered was that the almost constant thunder was sounding further and further away like a band. No orchestra. No orchestra was marching on down some street. Up my head popped to look around at scattered strikes to the port side, but nothing to the starboard side of the boat. Ahead were a few strikes, but the lightning was even further away. The breeze picked up, and the boat moved toward the lightning ahead of me like it wanted to catch up with it. The boat leaned a bit, still guiding. She always did when the wind was coming from ahead, on what us sailors called pointing. I smiled at the bottle in my hand. while gently replacing the cap and placing the bottle in the sink so it could not get hurt itself. I thought to myself that I was a sailor. Hello out there, viewer. Please say hi if you can in the comments. I hope you like this little sea story. I picked it out thinking of one of our subscribers, Hero Flame, who once asked for stories on the water, stories in a boat. And I hope you like my take on the visuals for it too. So, if you would like, we have time to chill and chat, because the story portion of our evening has just finished. If you're someone who's usually shy, if you're a copper out there, if you're a hero who's usually shy and doesn't talk too much in the beginning, please let me know it's you. Oh, hi Copper, it is you. Were you able to hear at least part of the sailor's story? Or did you just join in as I was finishing up there? I always have trouble double tasking across the screens. So I've got 3 tabs up right now. Oh, let me show myself. Yes, I've come back to camp in my kitty cat PJ blanket. So Copper, what do you feel like talking about today? Did you by chance get to see the Choose Your Own Adventure story I set up? You caught a little bit? Basically, it's someone who had to face their fears, and their biggest fear was lightning, and they were out in a boat by themselves. And they survived. So they gained some confidence after having to face their fear. And yeah, I hope we all have moments like that. Well, where we gain our confidence. So just so you know, this Choose Your Own Adventure story that I posted in the early afternoon, I think today, is, I think, a lot of fun. It's going on a rampage, letting my mercenary crew go out and have some fun and cause some havoc and cause some chaos and burn off some steam. Ooh, can you tell me what happened on your raid and did you like it? I kind of liked it. I thought it was fun, and it does feature a lot from the WoW world, the universe where Venus Callida originated from. But I am still going to develop joining the mercenary camp one. I just haven't had time to work on that one yet. It may come in September when the next one gets done. So, what stands out most in your mind from that story that you did out of your choices? I really want to know. That would be fun for me to know. And also, do you like my kitty cat blanket for my sitting around a campfire in front of my yurt for this evening? I'm so sad that we're at the end of August, kind of. Ooh, yay! You did like it? I'm so happy. Now, do you have a theme that you would like me to work on? Or like an environment or a country you'd like to have a date in or an escapade in? That I can set up a new one like that. I kind of really like Choose Your Own Adventures. So that it could be about you. Let me see here. Does this work? Alright, I'm going to go and check what you said. Ooh. Ooh, it's here. Okay, I found it. Oh, wait. You save Goldshire because it looks wholesome and friendly. Oh, that's so sweet. Hang on, I have to go into my... I have to get off this page. I'm trying to look at it right now, what you were saying. Oh, yay, we're alive right now. Let me see. Oh, I have to manage my stuff. Okay. Okay. Ooh, there's comments. I'm checking it right now. So it's okay if you don't know WoW, because this is just kind of like me trying to build the lore of our own universe too, here as subscribers. So you save Goldshire. Let me tell you, Goldshire is from the Alliance side, so the good guy side, if you will. But in the roleplay universe, a lot of people go there to have their virtual dating, and they go into the Goldshire Inn, and you're gonna see like all sorts of like couples or little groups of like characters. Like you've never seen so many characters, and they're all in there upstairs in the inn's rooms, and downstairs in the inn around the fireplace. And what they're really doing is dirty talking in whisper windows and actually doing stuff online together. And so Goldshire in the roleplay universe is a very busy inn. But it's where you could do all your starter quests once you leave a major city. And I do think it's pretty there. And Darkmoon Fair shows up there on the lawn. And so I want to read all your choices. So that's cool. So Goldshire stands. I never learned so much. You're a protective kind of person. You set Bilgewater Harbor on fire because it looks formidable. It probably looks really cool when set on fire. Well, that's where all the goblins are, like the ones that are very good engineers and mechanics, and they make all the blow up and rocket, like the rocket packs where you could jump. And it is a place where there's a bunch of money. The goblins have a sense of humor too. So, I mean, if you blew it up with fireworks, they'd probably be into that. Oh, but you set it on fire. Yeah. So their robots will probably put it out. They're going to be okay. They're surrounded by water on all sides because that's actually that Bilgewater Harbor is its own island. So it stands alone. You raided Brill. Okay, so Brill is on the Horde side. So aka the bad guy side. But it's actually a village of the undead. So if you're into like zombie stuff, you just robbed all the zombies. Which is hilarious. This could make its own spin-off. It is spooky, and they do make like their own like Frankenstein monster things on the table in the back side of that village there. But it's also the place because Venus Callida is a elf. She's a Horde side elf. My guild, which used to have over 800 people in it, we used to have a monthly the Great Chicken Race, and we would start at that statue of Sylvanas Windrunner, because she's our queen, because she's a Belf who died protecting Silvermoon. Her sister Aloria is actually the one who's at the forefront of this current expansion that's gone live for people this month. And we would always like drink 10, you had to drink 10 glasses of Noggin Fogger, get on our ostriches because that's our racial mount. That's the first mount you get as a Belf who levels up high enough to not walk around the world anymore like a poor person is sad. And we get on our ostriches, so there are chickens is what we call them, and you had to run all the way to the end of the road that takes you out of that province or state, if you will. You had to fly back, and the first one to get off the flight path and run back to the statue of Sylvanas in Brill won the Great Chicken Race. And the first 3 people, I would give them a whole big batch of gold as their prize, and then everyone got a booby prize of like a small patch of gold. But it was a lot of fun for us to do. So you've raided Brill. So you've robbed all the zombies. I feel like you should really work because of all, you want to look for illegal magic and unusual artifacts. I feel like you work for that Harry Potter world, that those official government Harry Potter people that go like locking up evil wizards or something. I forget what it's called. Not the Parliament, whatever that is, but I think you know what that is. Okay, Flay the Furlbog. Oh my goodness. You went straight for the Flay first. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking Game of Thrones, and you're like part of that family with the flayed man on that disgusting, I don't even remember his name. That guy that made Theon into an it. Bolton. Maybe you're a Bolton who works for the Ministry of Magic. That would be hilarious. I'm coming up with my own story here now from all this. Aura's. Oh, you're an aura. And this makes perfect sense. Okay. Shave the gherkin. Oh my goodness. Because it's too hot for all that fur. I feel like bad for any human that has too much hair on their body living in a tropical environment. I feel like you're going to send out like an emergency team of body waxers to like solve the issue. You must be from Egypt because even Cleopatra, she waxed. The things coming to my mind reading your answers. I am so happy that you gave me this. I feel like I should write you a story about you. I might write you a story about you because of your answers and just like post it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a mini movie about your answers, and you're gonna punt the dream telling kid because he's clearly yeah. I picked him because he is puntable. But he's so cute. So a mire is just like a swamp. I just picked a word to rhyme, but I'm having so much fun just reading your story and like giving you backstory with it. They're really cute. I'm glad you let him keep his fur because it's gonna be cold in that muddy water. Good luck, dream telling. You're a really nice guy. You gotta do a nasty thing, but you're gonna wish him well that he survives it. You're hilarious. Okay, you saved the dream wake. Ooh, the ships. I liked finding out actually what the names of the ships were. Every ship in this game has a name. And I thought they were cool. You saved the dream wake. Yeah, you're definitely at heart an Alliance good guy. You work for King Ren. Now, just because we're on different sides doesn't matter to me because I'm a double agent. My mother's an ambassador for the Alliance, if you know the lore of Venus Callida. So it's all good. It's all good. You're raiding the Stormbringer because it looks like it has a ton of treasure. An epic long fight. Oh, you have fun having a fight. Are you a scrapper? Are you a scrapper? I also want to keep the ship out. You want to keep the ship out? Oh, further thinking. You are a proactive person who makes plans. You don't just do stuff. You make something out of it. You set the maiden's fancy ablaze. You covered your getaway. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you joined our team because now I know my raid parties are going to come back. That's hilarious. Okay. You're going to spear the Agora the Cruel because he's obviously up to no good. You're going to freeze the Smolderon. Yeah, I figured if people saw some kind of ice monster or like a fireball, they would go to freeze it. Yeah. You know what? You're correct about the frost magic. Death Knights were very important going against this particular blob in one dungeon because the only thing that could make him weak enough for a raid to kill it is if you could freeze him enough. You needed the Frost Death Knights to drop that blizzard. And if you didn't have one, you'd have 20 people wasting their time for an hour because he will not die. So, yeah, there is something to that. Fear Goroth because he looks radioactive. Yeah. And from the underworld. Yeah, so Undercity, which is near Brill, that river they have underground is green because it's formaldehyde. Because they need that to keep themselves preserved and rot at a slower pace. Those zombie people in Brill will go in there to do that. And that's part of the lore. He is that color. He could also be fel, so radioactive. I think he's more like he's fel energy, so radioactive. I would say would be true. And I'm glad you understood that fear is an attack move. You fear them so their mind goes and they go running all over the place instead of being able to hit you, which is great for make your getaway. So I'm glad that you knew that. And you don't play this game, but maybe fear is part of the action bar in other games. Did you know that, or were you just guessing? You're a rule bender. I feel like you're a rogue. You're a rogue who works for the Ministry of Magic. and you're from the Bolton family in Game of Thrones. Because you went straight for Flay. I'm not getting past that one. And you think a good scrap is like fun. Like, you've got to be in the MMA. I hope you're training for that. Okay. You save the Mage Tower. It's cute. Aww, and you like wizards. Oh, yeah, in Harry Potter world. So you're an aura at heart. Oh, fear like you were afraid of him? And no, my dear friend, Copper, you made him run away from you by casting fear. But either way works. You didn't die. So it's all good. Any way you interpreted fear, it's all good. All right. I love that you saved the Mage Tower because it's cute. Because I'm cute. So I never have to fear you spearing me or flaying me or setting me afire. That's just the start of a good friendship right there. Nope. You made him afraid of you. Do you feel better now, Mr. Aura of the Bolton family legacy? I'm spinning a character. Okay. Useful books inside. So you respect education, even if it's to educate yourself with books, not depending on other people. You respect that. That's interesting. Something in there could help us. I love that, because if we weren't in an apocalypse, I would say books from a library that are the how-to stuff. We need all the DIY we can get. And by that point, we can't print it out anymore, so books are still good. The cat blanket is the best armor. Oh, so I made a good choice with my cute. I went for cute today. Yay. I'm happy for that. Okay, I hope you don't mind that I'm reading your story out to everyone, because this is fun for me. Like, I'm enjoying this so much, and I'm glad I can share it with you, because we're like sharing info and it's making the story even fuller. Okay, you raided the Sentinel Tower. You want the strategic advantage. So you made it to your own purpose, basically. Okay. You blowed up the Plaguewood Tower to the sky. You'd rather burn it, though. Because of the contagious. Actually, are you sure you don't know about the wild word? Because what I want to tell you about the Plaguewood Tower is it's in a part of the western, whatever, schmooshy moosh. It's beside where all the zombies live, but it's where those Frankenstein monsters are, and a lot of arachnid, like giant arachnid things, are there. Basically a lot of undead and humongous spider monster things. Frankenstein monsters are there. So it has been hit with plague. And in fact, between the expansions, the original expansions in that area were the PvP towers, so player versus players, but the living elves and the living humans, at the end of Cataclysm, were turned into dead things. The trolls that were alive are now like zombie trolls. The priests are now like undead, the zombies. So you're right to be worried about something that could make you sick. It is an area of plague with gross stuff running around dead in there. Yeah, it's a good Halloween location, actually. There's even a little town nearby to this Plaguewood Tower that has just the ghosts of little kids looking for their dolls and stuff. It's really sad. Some of it's really sad. Then it is a war game. But they make it look so pretty that you forget that it's really miserable stuff going on in there. Like, you know the lore if you follow the lore, but you could very easily be a gamer who just wants to, like, kill, and you don't know the lore at all. And so you don't get hit with all the sad parts of war, which are in the game too, because they make it so cute. Plus they give you punchable creatures that are so cute, like the little kit. Okay. So you're like in a zombie apocalypse. You would be the guy that would set off the CDC to sterilize itself so that nothing gets out. I got you. I'm feeling you. There's like 3 different stuff out there, like Walking Dead and Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, that you're like, I'm channeling this through your answers, and I'm enjoying the whole movie in my head that's happening from your answers. Thank you so much for really giving me this. Okay, you're interrogating the succubus. Are you sure she's not playing with your mind, though? She probably has you. Well, because she like gets people under her control. So I would think that's true. Obliviate the dragon aspect. Oh, and coming from a girl perspective who likes guys. I thought he was very pretty, but you're a guy. Yeah, you hurt the guy. Interesting. Okay. Looks a little too ambitious for anyone's own good. He's all puffy chested because he's really a dragon in human form because their dragon forms are too big and could squish a human in small places. So you killed him. You killed the dragon. I don't know how I feel about that. Although in Cataclysm that was the whole point, was to get rid of that dragon. Because he was too evil. And the last expansion. No, this expansion has an evil dragoness too. Actually, you might be on the right side of that. You felt bad about that one? It was a hard choice. It was a hard choice. You transmogrified the goblin. You saved the little green guy. Maybe he'll get lucky and turn into something better. Oh my goodness. Well, to a gobliness, you could make him quite dapper. So they just like treasure. They kind of remind me of Ferengi from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, where they just want money, 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 and they make all sorts of fun gadgets. He makes all the toys and the jet rocket packs and the ray guns. You like dragons? Oh no! So that guy, but maybe you didn't want him stepping in your territory. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna move on though because I have found out though that some of them live on in other ways. So maybe he'll take on another aspect. Okay. So yeah, this one was a hard one for me. Thunder Bluff is pretty, and you'll probably want to come back and visit one day, so you should probably save it. Okay, let me tell you about Thunder Bluff. In the stories that I haven't revealed yet, that I wrote a long time ago, for the Triveni, the three Venuses that I made originally in the game, the baby sister of Venus Callida, which we'll just call Baby V for now, but she's Venus Trinity in my gaming group, she has a special reason for loving Thunder Bluff, and in her retirement years, in her oldest years, she actually retires back to Thunder Bluff to remember someone she really loved. Hi, Dr. Frederick. I am so glad that you're here. We're reading through Copper's answers for my my little door game, going on a rampage today. We had a lot of fun with it. I'm having so much fun telling camping stories tonight. I did one out of request from Hero Flame to do a sea story. It was a little adventure story about someone gaining confidence as a sailor in a lightning storm, where their best fear was a lightning storm. And Copper Kaiju has, I'm just reading his answers, very detailed answers about, I'm so glad he gave me the answers because I think I might even turn this into a little movie if I could figure out how. He's saving Thunder Bluff. Thunder Bluff has a special place in my heart. And just to let you know, since you don't know the lore of the game, in the original wars of Azeroth, the Taurens, which are humanoids that look like cows and bulls, they were being basically eradicated by the humans. And so to save their lives, because they were very spiritual and gentle, and of course cows are not carnivores, so they didn't attack people. The trolls, who were also very religious, they kind of remind me of voodoo, like from the Caribbean, sort of feel for how they do their spiritual stuff. But they saved the cows, or the Tauren species, by making Thunder Bluff and putting it on top of the tops of little mountain range, like little hills that are taller than a human can get at. And they used blimps to come in and out to go visit, and the Taurens also built elevators so they could protect themselves from the war that was happening on the ground. So the trolls saved the species of the Tauren race, a gentle species who was basically like earth-loving, naturalistic kind of spirituality. And I think of the Taurens as kind of like First Nation people in the spirituality side of it. And to me, that's how I kind of related to some of what we saw, some of the cultural-ish stuff they did for each of the races. Yeah, I want to show you the lore because it's very funny how Copper Kaiju's answers are really bringing a lot to my mind. But Thunderbluff, Baby V retires there, and if I ever get through the Brave Immortal Souls series and actually finish it and develop the original stories I had written for these three characters, um, she loved those people for a reason and she wanted to retire there. So I'm glad you saved Thunder Bluff. Now, Stormwind City looks very challenging. This makes it a fitting fight. You love fighting. You love raiding. And let me tell you, in the game, Stormwind City is the head. As much as you vibe more as an Alliance Pro personality, Copper Kaiju, you have chosen to raid the city of your king, King Anduin Rin now. The baby of the overall the expansions is now grown up and he's taken over for his father. And Stormwind gets raided a lot by us from the Belf world, from the Horde side, as I'm a Horde raid master, guild master originally, and we would raid that city. They would raid Orgrimmar, which is our main city, but this is the main one. But you're not blowing it up. You're not setting it afire like other places. You're just raiding it. They've got a lot of loot in there. They've got a lot of industry. There's lots to loot. It's okay. It's okay because he'll live. You know, in the raid you've got to kill the main king or queen in the main city, and he gets raided all the time, but they raid us right back too. So you don't feel bad about that. Everybody knows what's happening. Sometimes I just dive into the river, the canal system that goes through the city, and I just swim away as a porpoise. When I'm on the Alliance side, I'm in Rindy Kales, which she is a shapeshifter. She's a druid. So I'll just go in as a little porpoise and I'll just swim away, hide under a dock, and wait till they go away. Because if you engage, you're dead. Like the raids, you can raid the people and get their loot. And so that's funny to me. That's really funny because I have raided Stormwind a couple of times. So you could just join our raids. I mean, you're in my mercenary group now. You will join us in our raids. And that's just fine. Because I was a Death Knight, again, a Frost Death Knight, I can freeze the water. So I was very handy in the early expansions as at least if you had one Frost Death Knight, we would freeze the ocean and we would take cities from the ocean side. So people aren't expecting us that way. Now everybody can fly, so you can drop down on top of them. But back in the day, that was very handy. You get a raid group, and we'd run across the water, and then, of course, I played this game differently. Everybody's got a different way that they play it. But I always started expansions by freezing the water, running around the outside of the continent, then running up all the rivers because I figured I'm either going to find your town or I'm going to find a flight path with my town. Because, I mean, they developed this side of the world that I'm on, the Americas, going in and out of the river systems, trading by water first before they could take over the land. So I did it like that. And by the time I finally started questing, I already leveled myself a couple of times with the experience points from just opening up these areas, trying not to die too often. And the only thing that would nab me really was sharks, piranha. That was about it. Electric eels. But I didn't see them everywhere. And a raid group could just, if I was there, I'd zap that water and we'd all just like run in through the bay and up the river system, the canal system, and get where we needed to go. They got a little smarter in the upgrades. They took away an easy way out so that we have to at least run through half of the city. But now people can drop down from a bird or a dragon now, so it's a little different. But it won't be the first time anyone's raided Stormwind, so I like your Mercy for the very nature-loving, peaceable, Tauren, bull cow people, humanoids, the very gentle species. But it was the trolls who saved their lives from the humans in the wars. I mean, we eat burgers, and because we're on the Horde side, my guild back in the day when we were like over 800 people strong, we'd have competitions every month. Like we had a competition for people to invent our signature food, our signature drink, a signature dessert. Like we gave out prizes for these types of things for whoever won the ideas. And we agreed we couldn't have hamburgers or steaks because we had Torrens. And that would be like expecting them to celebrate cannibalism. So yeah, we nixed that. So we ended up with a salad. We ended up with like a spaghetti dish. We ended up with boozy drinks. We didn't encourage the little kids to have those, but you know, we had all those. And you know, to this, I don't remember what they are now, but I used to remember and I used to record this stuff. But there's no way to go back into the minutes of years ago. But maybe we can do that again here. I'll have little competitions. Once I figure out what it is I could give as a prize until I monetize, I don't know. But okay. Um, you know what? Kapakaju, if you did develop this into a real story and you gave me permission to use your script, I would definitely illustrate and narrate it for you if you wanted. Or you could, and I could feature it here if you don't have your own channel. I don't even know. Do you guys have your own channel? And by the way, thank you for following me on the Twitch side. I haven't been there much lately, but thank you for being one of my followers there too. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I have a lot to think about. There's a lot to draw on here. So from this story, I gauge you to be a For the Alliance or from the Bolton family who works for the CDC until the apocalypse forced you to blow it all up to save everybody from the contagions. Then you went to work for the Ministry of Magic. That's how I'm seeing it. And I like it that way. Also, I also imagine maybe you're partly Irish because you really want a good scrap. You look forward to a challenging, long, drawn-out fight. Now, do you like ninja movies? Because I don't know. Maybe, you know... Oh, I do have to tell you. There is a series I just binge-watched. I don't remember the name. And it was based on the Chinese mafia in early Americas. I think it's Heroes or something like that. And I swear to you, so many amazing fight scenes. Every few minutes, another fight scene. And even with the same people, they find ways to make every fight scene different. I love every ninja movie out there because I really love martial arts. I will even watch that stuff from original Bruce Lee's era. And all those fights, or I guess a Fight Club or something, where you go to an island somewhere in Japan and you have to fight everybody maybe to the death. I don't know. There's all those kind of movies from I don't know when it was, 50s or 60s, and you are part Irish. Look, this is awesome. There's another guy here. It is Cyan Rattan. He's also Irish American, also a very genteel, tip of the hat kind of guy. He's someone to get to know too. Working very hard right now, but he reminds me of this too. But if you want to see something with a lot of really good martial arts fights, even between women and women and men and all sorts of weapons and no weapons at all, like it's amazing. I gotta figure out what it is. Actually, I'm gonna look for you right now. What is it? I think it's called Heroes, but it's like Asians in early America. But the fights are amazing. If you love martial arts, it's amazing. And there are English people in there punching each other too. Just to say, you could see all kinds of fighting, but it's like many, many fights every single episode for a minimum of 2 seasons. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find it for you right now. I see it through Bell, the 5 channel. But I think these are the types of things that might be on Netflix. I don't know. It's a Canadian channel. But let me just see. It was really good. I loved it. I want to see more. Let me see. I don't know why it sometimes hides the things that we've watched recently when it should show us that. But I'm just going through quickly I think it's called Heroes. Also, I like Tokyo Vice, but Heroes had much more fight scenes per episode. But then that's also left me thinking, like, if these women working in these brothels can fight like that, why are they working in brothels? I don't understand. You could beat a man like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just a question that crossed my mind. Okay, I have to make this go bigger. Will this hide it? Okay. I do think it's called Heroes, though. I'm just going into another page to see if I can find this thing and confirm. I think it's Heroes. I don't know why I can't find it, but I know I binge watched at least 2 seasons in just a couple of days. Like, I mean, I ran it and I watched it all day long, and it's actually partly why I didn't go into Twitch so much this week, because I really, if you play something on TV while you're playing video games and they can hear it, even if it's quiet, they ding you for copyright. So, I don't know why I can't find it. I know, I'll look at another way. Oh, if only I could spell. I'm in the dark. My regular keyboard died, and I have this like mini one, and so my fingers sometimes hit the wrong things. I have to retype it. I don't know why I can't see it. Why? It's on some special episode. Now it's like it's disappeared. Maybe it's not called Heroes. Maybe it's called Legends. I don't know. It's showing me all sorts of children's movies. Why can't I find a show? Oh well, that's the best I could tell you. Yeah. So I don't know. But I do know I saw it, and I was glad that I saw it. It was awesome. Not that I don't enjoy watching people being harmed and bullied and unfairly like caused torture, but I mean to be so capable and so fit and so agile, it's like fast thinking. You got to be really intelligent to be such a fast thinker to know what to do when all this stuff is happening. Okay, I'm gonna look at free previews. Let's see if it's there. It's not there. I'm gonna go back. Well, I know I looked into different places this week, so maybe it's in Crave. I don't know. I do know that I wish there was more to House of the Dragon. If you guys watch that, usually it gets 10 episodes. They only give us 8 because they have to save money or something. And I have to say, I really wanted more. I wanted more. Also, although I haven't seen it, like they only let you see the first season for free in what I'm watching things through online. But Black Sails was something that I did enjoy. And the one guy who was the main guy for a long time in that series, he was part of The Walking Dead as one of the miserable guys that ended up dying. So he wasn't around long, but he was in there. About the Black Sails, I did enjoy it. But there's also like some characters that maybe I just don't recognize them in other roles because people grow up and time passes and looks change, or you can make yourself look different for something. But like the main character was a girl. She was pretty. I thought she did a good job. And the other girl, the Frenchy girl, played a role I would never play, but she was from somewhere else before that one and became something, but the main character didn't. I don't know where they went to since then, unless I just don't recognize them now. And I wonder where people go. If they were a main, like a lead, why did they disappear, or where are they that I didn't notice where they were? like black sails very much. I don't know, that's just me. But you know what? There's an allure of the sea to me. I really love the look of if you've ever I used to, at one time, I'll tell you, worked in Fortress of Louisbourg, in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. I've been all over. I've done a lot of, but my first love when I was in school was like history. Not that it served me for a job at all, but I worked for living history museums and I traveled around working for living history museums, or I was lent out by the one I worked for other places for certain events that would happen seasonally because I had the training or the background and my grandparents were farmers. So, and I just love being outdoors. And I was there, and you had to be in a sloop as your rite of passage to work there. But they would have that, I guess, armada, or I don't know what it's called, armada, where all the ships just come in and they follow a certain route around Canada and the United States, and they go up different canals and they visit the different ports that were historically naval ports. And it was held by the French originally. Now it's English, of course. But I look at those boats and how they were made and think, wow, against an ocean, and you can cross that ocean in those things and not die, although they lost fingers and legs and eyeballs and everything. But their decks are just as beautiful as a ballroom floor, like they're just beautiful. And maybe I was a pirate in another life, I don't know. But that was an allure to me. And also because anything that was created or built, like all the origin stories of real places in the world, like there were pirates in the Caribbean. It's not just a Disney ride. What was life like? I find it all very interesting how people got along, and especially without flushing toilets, which horrifies me. That would be my biggest fear. and without electricity, it was manpower, it was muscle power, it was grit, and I really appreciate that. But to master the seas, that's terrifying and amazing. In a time before jet planes. So yeah, that was my draw to that. I mean, it couldn't have been an easier, necessarily comfortable life, I suppose. But if they didn't know any better, if that was the norm for them, I don't know. I found it fascinating. Also, it's kind of like us and them stuff, like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. But you know what? We don't like any of those people coming in. We've got to team up for now. For now, till we get rid of them. Then I can hate you and hate you and hate you some more. Yeah, they are. And I've been on a real... I don't like motorboats at all. I'm not the jet skier person. All of that smacking against the waves hurts my system. My internal organs feel like they're being shredded. It's not for me. I don't enjoy it. I feel fear. And I feel fear of falling off those and into the water. But I don't fear swimming in the water. And I have gone scuba diving. But if I'm in a sailboat, whether it's a sloop or like a big 3-mast sailboat, cut through that water. I mean, it's not in the ocean. I'm in them in a bay and stuff. But it just feels so smooth. In good weather, of course, I realize that. But it just feels so smooth. I love canoes, I love kayaking, and I love sailboats. I don't like the motorized experience at all. Whatever that says about me. So that's another reason why I got into black sails. And, as you know, I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I was Team Daenerys and absolutely hated the ending. Absolutely hated it. But that Jorah Mormont, he was someone in black sails first. Like, I kind of love to see like the different incarnations of some of these actors that get around in some very good shows. If you ever have the chance to go to Fortress of Louisbourg in July, if you look up when that armada or whatever comes through to Fortress of Louisbourg, they let you walk on their ships. It's really nice. They go all around where the water's deep enough in our canals and stuff when they come through. I don't know, if they come to us, they must go through New York. They must go down the side there, to the States. Maryland or Georgia or Florida, somewhere on the water. Um, they're really worth having a look. Um, they're just gorgeous. And the people who dock in there, they do, well, at least when I've been around, they do let you walk on their ship. They let you walk on it and see it. Like, the carvings, it's as beautiful as the furniture in a home of someone who's got money. You know, like, they made those well. Also, I looked up, if just on a side note, the amazing thing about, like, the Viking ships, when they dig holes in the ground, I learned about this just from reading and then looking things up later. Back before the internet was a thing for me, um, they put ropes on the ground, they build their frame and everything inside the hole. So they dig the hole to be shaped like the ship hull they want. And then they get the horses to pull on the ropes to pop it up to land level and roll it into the water. I think that's amazing. I mean, that's so clever. And to have those sleek designs to cut through the water. I don't know. I'm an architect-y, lovey kind of person. Whether it's buildings or ships, race cars. I used to draw race car shells all the time when I was a kid. I don't know, the sleekness, the cutting through things. But not to work for the government because then they'll weaponize that. But, you know, but yeah, the aerodynamics. It was always amazing to me. Also from a love of horses or birds, it just cut through. And I love, like, the sense of the power of, like, a cheetah. Because it can't, you know, just to go so fast with its own, like, push against gravity and the wind factors. I don't know, that's my ramble. Okay, so we're just going to think I drank something funny for my little ramble at this little campfire. I'm actually I have to go back to the fridge to get more liquids. I'm all out. But, yeah. And welcome viewers. I know there's a third out there. I don't know if that's Hero. I don't know if that's Dark Alice. I don't know if it's Cyan Rattan. Have we caught you on a night off, Cyan, if it's you? Please say hi if you can. I'd love to acknowledge you. So we're just talking about different kinds of TV shows we might want to binge watch or have binge watched, and yeah. What do you guys feel like hearing about today, if anything? Also, I like Snowpiercer and found out that there's a season 4, and I binge watched right through that as well. And I like that one too. Although, I mean, it's really changed and it's getting, you know, in some seasons the originals are really great and then they just get too weird because they need to keep it exciting to keep people watching. So it's getting to that point, but meh. Just think Leighton's cute, so I'll keep watching. I don't believe Melanie's alive, but I'll keep watching in the hope. I don't know if you guys watch that one. Oh, did you step out to hydrate? Are you hydrated? I'm now not hydrated, but I was hydrated earlier. I ran out. I actually, I lost track of time, and so I had stuff all set up to sit here for a while tonight, and then it kind of nibbled on it over time, and it was gone right before I had to go on live. So I didn't go back to the fridge because I didn't want to be late. It's a really strange thing that I just binge watched this show I was telling you about, and yet I can't find proof that it exists. So I don't know if I was seeing a sneak peek of something, and now it's run out of its time frame. I have no idea. But I know it was a show and not a movie. And I binge watched it in a couple of days. There were at least 2 seasons to it. And I did enjoy it because of the types of fights that were happening. It was like martial arts of all kinds. With women as well as men. With women against men, women against women, men against men, you name it. And there was a point where I didn't know which one was cuter and I couldn't vote on who I wanted to win. And I'm glad those fights were made very difficult for both of them. But basically, those two guys were basically the lead woman's husband to be, who just became a husband at the end of the series, and her little brother. And actually, what I like about them was they're both in two different opposing Asian gangs in this thing, because nobody knows that they're brother and sister. He came looking for her because she left the country first, and he followed 2 years later to try to bring her home, and but ended up in different gangs for survival purposes. And the cat came out of the bag near the end because she let the cat out of the bag. But her guy that he fought originally thinking that he was keeping his sister, like, kept against her will or something, was actually her protector and other half. But once he found out who he was, it was the guy in her life that wanted to be merciful to their brother, even though he was working for the other gang. But he was like the head honcho, like, henchman dude to be her little pit bull. But he was actually willing to be a cool guy about it all, which made him more attractive to me. Oh, so, but they're having differences in their marriages because the elders want the husband to be in charge, and it's the wife that's in charge, and so there's all sorts of dynamics in there too. Whew, so much. But I believe it was called Heroes. And they actually, every episode played some cool modern music from their culture, like K-pop stuff or like Asian rock, Asian rap. I think it's Asian rap really that I'm hearing. But like, yeah, it was interesting for the cultural to hear that kind of music too. I thought was pretty cool. Also, I would check out Tokyo Vice. I wanted more from that. I don't think it's come up with a season 3 yet. And Game of Thrones is killing me. It may be 2 or 3 years before we see the next Dance of Dragons. I need more sooner than that. That sucks. Because the thing is, once they start going 2 years apart, 3 years apart, I don't care as much anymore. I need the flow all at once. I guess I'm a binger. And I cannot find it. And I know that I watched it this week. At the beginning of the week. So that's so strange. Yeah. Ooh, so I kind of ran out of... I did go see a movie, Blink Twice. I did not like the ending. It was quite disturbing in the middle. And it's not really what I thought it would be. So, I think it's an ick. There's an ick factor to that movie. I would not suggest going to see that one. I did have fun watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Although, he goes overboard with the kind of way he tries to be funny, but I'd still rather see that than the one I saw today. Just to say. Not that my opinion counts, but that's my opinion on that stuff. And no other movies out there. I saw the one It Ends With Us. That's a downer. And it's slow. I'll say slow burn. And they put the most important line in the movie in the promo, in the trailer. So it's like not impactful once you get to it in the movie. So it's like, But anyways, those are just my opinions of the movies out there right now. I have not gone to see Inside Out 2 because, again, to me, that topic of anxiety is a downer. And I didn't like that I cried in the first one, so no. I just want something funny right now. I want something happy, or at least interesting. Like that TV show with all the martial arts in it. Interesting. I like it. Me like you. So yeah. Is there anyone that wants to talk about anything else? Last thoughts before we call it a close for the night? The Hero Show is set in the United States, And basically, it's a whole debate. The dialogue is around there's the white people that are English versus Scottish. I think Irish is represented in there. Oh no, it's Irish. Irish is represented in there. But the guy who plays the Irishman is a big guy that to me looks like he's from like Danish or something. But it doesn't matter, whatever. He's playing the Irishman. And there's them talking about wanting the Chinese to be sent back to China, although half of those Chinese people were born in the United States, in different states, and speak English very well. And everyone says, you speak just like an American, because I was born here, thanks, kind of thing. But at the same time, some of them turn around and say, hello, there's Native people here, they were killed by these white men who bring us over to build trains and canals and dams and then wanting us to leave and not make a home here. Hello. And very little introduction until the second season of Spanish and Black women, of course, of the mixed kind. And the only mixed couple in the thing were, I think, strung up. So there's not the dialogue around their histories in the Americas are not what's being focused on per se. It's a white man versus Asian right now. Meanwhile, and in the movie, there's so much about the two Asian factions that are against each other because there's two different mafias running at the same time with their own little underworld. Then you've got the cops in the middle of everything. Good cops and bad cops. The ones that are from the town and the ones that are brought in from elsewhere to deal with the problems. Making new problems. But it's interesting. But it's all set in the Americas. Early Americas. Yeah, the early American town history. And that's why I find it interesting. So yeah. What are your thoughts out there? And also, Carper Kaiju, for a person that's usually quiet and shy and sits back and spectates, I have learned so much about you from your details, and I'm so thankful that you told me everything you picked because I had to think about turning that into a movie. I don't have time to do it this month because I'm going to be going away for a few days, but in September, on my free time, I'm going to think about it. And if you do develop a story of your own or script and you want me to present it somehow, I would do that too. Now, Dr. Frederick, are you still out there? Because I'm curious to know if you played my door game today, the mercenary door game, and what kind of rampage you went on. I would like to know in the comments and or here before I go to bed tonight. But Haiju, I'm so excited about learning about you and your choices, and I hope that the backstory lore about these places and creatures that you picked were fun for you too. It is a TV series, so let me see. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna pull this over here. I'm gonna try to find another way. Okay. Oh, something's coming up that is not. Chinese drama. Heroes Chinese drama. I found it. Heroes Chinese drama. Is it bad if I show you my screen, or can I show you my screen?
Building your online business?
I don't know if I can show you my screen. Heroes. It's a 2024 to 2025 Chinese drama starring Liu Ning and Qi Jun Shi and Huang Mengying. Am I allowed to show? I don't know what the copyright is on this. Can you hear that? I don't know. Oh, this isn't even it. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. Okay, hang on. TV series and early United States and two Chinese mafias. I'm gonna see. Well, I'm finding all sorts of stuff, but none of it's the one. When I find it, you know what? I'll just. I'm not finding it. I found something else, like real ones. Oh, I found my door game. Well, some people tattoo their whole faces. I've never understood that. I want to see a person's face. Okay, so just showing me a bunch of like triads and Bugsy Siegel. And that's no. Okay, I'm gonna try to find it one more way. Okay, so I'm not finding it. Sorry, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna try it another way. Maybe I should ask YouTube. But I know for sure it was in 5. How could it disappear? Oh my goodness, it's a mystery now. I'm gonna view all. Let's see if that brings it up. Why would it disappear? Tokyo Vice is here. It's not gonna show you all the fighting like the Heroes one, but it's also an interesting show. I haven't seen anything new come up for it for a while. Okay, I was hoping it would show me at least something if I was naming it wrong, but it's not coming up at all. Oh, see, what I'm thinking I did was not find it on the regular channel, but go into like Crave or City TV or Omni One or one of those kind of things like that. Sometimes they show you a free preview of something, but I didn't find it there. Although I'll check one more time in case I was just scanning too fast. I'm just going through. Let me see. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna check. That I'm checking one last place. I'm gonna go to what did I call it? Oh, this is all in French. I'm so sorry. It's not, let me see if I can do this. Okay. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. Free previews. I wonder if it's in there. No, it's not in there. Okay. Drama. They've still got True Blood out there. I don't know what you think of that. I don't know what I think of that. It's a very sad ending. Okay, let me see here. Oh, Warrior. It's not called Heroes, it's called Warrior. I found it, it's on Crave. Do you get Crave TV? Warrior. There are 3 seasons. They're amazing. If you love to see martial arts and fist fights, you get multiple ones every single show. They're right on. It's beautiful to look at. Okay, here's what it says about Warrior. Action, drama, martial arts, 3 seasons, a crime drama that takes place in the latter half of the 19th century, so 1800s, during brutal gang wars in San Francisco's Chinatown. So San Francisco's Chinatown. It follows a martial arts prodigy, Awesome. Awesome. I like awesome. But it's Ahsam, a Chinese immigrant. And he basically immigrated to find his sister who had to leave home 2 years earlier. And he was trying to bring her back because their dad had died. So he thought it was safe to bring her home now. And he went looking for her. Yeah. And in looking for her, he makes a best friend who happens to be the son of one of the mafia bosses. And it turns out, not a spoiler because it's not going to spoil anything, that his sister is in the other gang. Yes. She basically came to America, like many, to improve her life. I really love it. There are Irishmen in there protesting and running a bar and having their own fist fights. And there's like good cops and not and white cops and worse cops and that. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so this is something you'll learn about me. This is what I love. This is what I love. And I did a bit of martial arts growing up, but I haven't done in a while, and I regret that. I would like to go back into it. But this just looks so cool. Like, truly, I'd probably last 30 seconds, a minute. A minute and a round. Minute and a half for a round for me was a lot because I have short arms and legs, so I have to take all the punches to land one. Warrior, yes, it's Warrior. Oh, really? I like that. I like that guy. Like, he seems like a nice guy in interviews. I've never met him in person, so I don't really know, but I think he's a nice guy. So, but I highly recommend this. I binge watched this for a couple of days when I could have been streaming my gaming, but I wanted to game. So a lot of my gaming this past week hasn't been online because I wanted to watch this so badly and I didn't want to turn it off. I ran it, I fall asleep to it and wake it up and I'd start it over. I thought it was that good. That's me though. That's my preference. But there you learn something about me. This is what I like to watch it. In the real world, I would hope that I would be on the winning side of anything because I don't want to take a beating, but they're just awesome. So yeah, this is the one, Warrior. It is my favorite discovery in the past 7 days of my life. That's the one, yeah. Yay! We did that without me breaking copyright. Yay! Also double yay. Also, you guys may notice that if, I mean, you don't know me for this, you know me from the gaming side, but I also have started putting out some more videos based on relaxation and calming the mind and stuff, different breathing activities. So if you're into that, please keep an eye out over the rest of the month, because there's going to be a couple techniques, new techniques, different things than what I've done before. But I feel good about them, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. If that's not for you, I've realized some of my more popular videos in over the summer have been the animal care videos, so I may just make some more animal brain vacations. But I don't know what animals, so what animals would you like to reflect on for inspiration or a calming moment, a calming mind vacation? I've got cats, dogs, and there's one in the background that's for elephants. If you guys look through my playlists for mind breaks videos, under this self-care with Venus and Msoul, you'll find those. And I think the cutest one was the little chinchilla, the little like chinchilla bunny, getting his little fur combed on his belly and liking it. He looks so cute. So what would be the next video for a mind break you guys would like to have a visual for? Whether it's a plant, an animal, anything, water running. I do have the stuff on my old computer. I was making those shower relaxation sound videos, but I haven't been able to get them out of that hard drive yet, which is kind of sad, but eventually I'll work on that. Right now I don't have time, but that'll be something I'm going to work on over the fall. And yeah, so that's stuff that'll be coming up. And if you have any requests, please give me requests in the comments or here. And know that I put up my new show schedule. I think I've got myself doing something live every day. You want to do polar bears? Do you know, if you see the polar bears in some of my older videos or sketches of, I took those pictures with my own face. I did live in the Arctic, and I did see my own polar bears. I don't have a lot of surviving pictures of them, but I do have some. So I can do a polar bear one, and I can feature the pictures I took myself. See which ones have survived. A lot of them are buried in the computer that wouldn't factory reset anymore. So, oops. But yeah, I can put together something between the stills of the pictures I took and like whatever free mix kit or Pexels short video clips I can string together. But yeah, okay, polar bears are the next on the menu. This time of year, they would be suntanning at the bottom of Hudson Bay along Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. You think they're scary? Okay, so I lived on a point on the island, like on the edge of an island, where high tide would be 5 feet from my door, and low tide was like entire boulders twice the height of me were sitting on like a dark sand up in the Arctic, and it was amazing, like an alien world whenever there was a low tide. But mother bears with their cubs would come in and sit on these rocks when it was high tide for a rest, and hunters, to make sure I would get to work in the morning, were out there like 4 and 5 in the morning, and their wives would be bringing them coffee with their guns like pointed on the water, because they would like literally just crawl out. I was on my balcony once, and it crawled out of the sea and just walked through town because it was so starving. And they wanted to make sure we didn't die before we went to work in the morning. And no matter how early I'd wake up in the morning, they would somehow always beat me out the door, like beat me outside, right? And when I started bringing them coffee because I felt bad, the wives started showing up with coffee and told me I don't have to bring them coffee. They did not want me meeting their men. But they kept us alive. It was really great. When we did Halloween, I remember by October you're covered in snow up there. Like, it's very cold, comes early, and July is like light jacket weather, but you're never going to be in a bikini tanning up there for sure. Oh, what was my point? I think I'm getting tired. Um, polar bear stories. I was telling polar bear stories. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. But what they would tell me is, Dina, oh, Venus, Venus. Forget you heard that. They would say, that you're the grocery store and that bear's shopping. Don't believe Coca-Cola because you cannot hug that bear. You want to hug that bear. We're watching your face. You cannot pet that bear. He will eat your head like a grape. And he can run from where he is to where we are in 10 seconds flat, like a full block in 10 seconds. And so, and the hunter kept his butt of his gun right on my left shoulder, and his wife was right on my right shoulder so that I wouldn't approach it. But we get as close as a block. But they're like, the way they sleep when they're tired in the rocks, because it's not sandy up there so much as it's rocky. It's lots of rocks. And it's up in Southampton Island, Coral Harbor, where I was, it's like ancient coral lichens and stuff up there. It's ancient stuff that you're standing on if it's not frozen, like if it's not like an ice floe. So, but they mostly sniff the air, and if they think you're not a threat, then they just go back to sleep. You have to watch because of their shapes and their coloring. They just look like snowdrifts on the rocks. And up there too, the Inuit, if they catch a whale, for example, they're gonna spread out the whale blubber on the rocks and let the sun cook it in the daytime. Is using the environment to do a job, and like to prepare the meats, to get the meat started. And so, and then the cold weather, that you don't have the bugs flying around like down here, so it's cleaner. But the polar bear will come out of the water to eat that whale catch. And so, and then they go to sleep on the rocks. And if you weren't watching carefully, you wouldn't know. You don't just go run up to the rocks and go climbing rocks like for fun, like I would have done in the Toronto area all my young life. That could be a polar bear. And I learned too. So the first one I ever saw, 14 feet long, just a teenager. The biggest one I ever saw, 21 feet long, an adult. The biggest ones that I've heard about caught, or I've seen their pelts on walls, like giant walls, like 25 feet long. But they catch one. They don't just arbitrarily hunt them too. What I do like about the people up there is that they do respect the quotas, like the tags. Only 75 per the village per year, per se. So you didn't just run out and kill one, and they did try to shoot in the air to scare away like the mothers with their babies, so the babies have a chance to live. So the people up there still work with like kayaks where I was, and going out on the land on foot. They might have like those big, like the big pickup trucks with the high wheels, or the ATVs and the skidoos. But if you get caught on a ice floe, you're just gone. Like, you'll be lucky if a search party finds you in time. You're gonna lose your equipment. You just hope you get airlifted off of wherever. The environment's your worst enemy up there. I've seen them in August in a boat taking down, like they caught narwhal, like 14 foot and 10 foot, those ivory tusks that the carvers were using to carve things afterwards, and they shared the meat out with everybody. They don't keep it to themselves. If everybody that's got a vehicle keeps like a garbage bag with them, and they told me always carry a garbage bag in my pocket because meat is free. Even like the little kids would tell you, if anyone's trying to charge you for meat, you tell on them because that's rude. Meat is to be shared. They keep feeding everybody. Everybody shares. And even when I went up there, I would do net fishing for char. So I would help them tie the weights to the bottom of the net. So these nets are really long. And so they would stake down one side, and then I'd run to the other side with my friend and stake down the other side of these nets across the lake up there, across an inland lake. And a half hour, you come back, you have coffee, you go back, you grab the other end of the net. The time you bring it back, you caught so many fish, the whole village can be fed for days. And I actually got to freeze one, pack it in snow, stick it in my purse, send it through the x-ray machine and 2 different airports to get myself back down south to give it to my dad for a Christmas present. Coolest present I ever got him. If you see that skeleton coming through the machine. I was just lucky that Inuit people were working the machines up north, and that the hotel that I stayed in had a chef that was also Inuit, so he was willing to save that fish for me in his freezer so I could get it all the way home without it like going bad. Yeah, so I got to feed my dad from a Canadian fish. When I got to Montreal, that they weren't so cool about it. I'm like, it's Canadian. It's not an alien. I got it in Canada. It's a Canadian. It hasn't crossed any borders. I had to really do some talking to get that fish home. But I got it home, and they look kind of like big fat koi fish, but they taste like tuna. They're very nice. But yeah, coming back to the polar bear, catching one of those and preparing the pelt, it would take like a whole bunch of women from the family over a weekend to do it. But by the end of that weekend, the village was fed. All the meat was gone. But they didn't waste anything. And they sell the pelts so that's how they get the money to send their kids to college on the mainland. It was very interesting. And the kids themselves in high school would like set fox traps and rabbit traps and save the furs and sell them to the general store, who would buy up that stuff and the carving work done with the tusk or the ivories or the stones of the area. There's limestone and magnetite up there. And they would catch them to feed the family and sell the pelts, and that's how they save money to go to school after they finish high school. They would do that before they go to school, on their lunch break, and at the end of the day they would be checking their traps. Different life altogether, but very interesting, very worth seeing at least once in your life. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't see any motorized boats up there. I did see skidoos and a lot of ATVs. Um, I also saw, like, they had this, you know those Tonka trucks, those yellow trucks, like a bulldozer was the thing that went out onto the land and used its scoop to pick up the back tires of any kind of pickup truck that got stranded out on the land, and they would tow it back that way, which looked hilarious. But they did have their big building equipment, that's for sure. So many fun things I saw that you never see down south. Different environment in the winter world. Which is why also I'm glad my Death Knight, my Frost Death Knight comes from Northrend. So even in the video game, there's peace in my world up there. I'm from the north. I'm a northern girl. How are you guys doing out there? I've done a lot of talking. Also, holy cows are what we call Tauren paladins and Tauren priests in the video game. When we see holy cows, they're our healers. We take them with us on raids too. Just reacting to the last note I saw. It looks like the Wi-Fi is dropping for some people. I see them coming in and out. Who's the last person standing with me right now? So I think I am going to go offline. I'm so glad. I did used to try to stay online for a good 2 hours at a time, but I'm also getting sleepy. But I used to help people fall asleep as I kept talking. And I would tell ghost stories, but I ran out of ghost stories. think I'm gonna let you drift off to dreamland. Again, Copper Kaiju, thank you so much for sharing in detail your choices, because I feel like there's a real story that came out of that, and the allusions to other characters from other like TV worlds. I want to string it all together. We'll see. When I've got the time, I'm gonna think about it. Maybe we've got a story to tell for you. Also, I'd like to know, is the icon you're using beside your name right now the icon I can use to represent you in door games, or would you like me to pick a particular looking character for door games to represent you? I still imagine like a copper pot, a copper hair color. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, so I'm going to sing you a lullaby, and then I'll wish you all a good night, and happy hydrating before you go to bed. Be kind to your organs. They're very important. Alright. I'm a terrible singer, but here we go. Lullaby, and good night. La 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 la. Go to sleep, close your eyes. No more fighting till you wake up. Don't blow up the north end. We need it, it's my home. If you have a good story, give me the script and I'll drive it home. Good night, Copper Kaiju. And I think who came back might have been Dr. Frederick. So, good night, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I think it's very possible, if you check my community tab, that I said might be on also tomorrow night live and Sunday night live, just because I will be away between Tuesday and Friday, and I will be back then this time next week. So I'm going to pack in as many live feeds as I can this weekend up to Monday night. And Tuesday, Riddle Me Din Din, it will be pre-recorded. It's already posted, but I have made sure we've got a short video every day, and we've got a meme every day, one each, to September 1st. So if anything happens, or I'm late coming back, then for sure you will still have my presence online with new things every day to keep you entertained. Alright. Please hydrate, everyone. I don't have water in front of me right now, but I'm going to go get it later. What I do have is my little Country Time, the squirty thing that you put into bottles of water. So I'll do that. I can shake that for you. I will put that in some water. And I will drink to you guys after we go offline. Good night. This is Venus Callida signing off from Tuckin' and Chill. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Have a fantastic and fun weekend. And I will see you guys maybe tomorrow night, maybe Sunday night, maybe Monday night. But eventually. Not as much as I can promise. Alright. Sleep well. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Good night. Sweet dreams.